Good afternoon, guys. MWUSA Season 4, Episode 135. Just leaving for the day. It's 3:35 p.m. and a lot of stuff going on. Let me catch you up on everything. Yesterday was Saturday, and yesterday I took the wife and one of the kids with me. We went to a nearby casino where I had a prize, like an annual prize for the higher level people I had to pick up. Personally, I would have preferred the cash, but my wife likes stuff like that. So we got her a, what do you call those things? Like a air fryer. It's huge. This thing was like 50 pounds, man. I couldn't believe it. Usually casino things are kind of crappy, but it was kind of nice, and had a free meal there. And she hung out with one of the kids while I went and got, I played my free play, which was very minimal, but the only play I found was a $10 a spin play, and I put in my little bit of free play that was gone in a few spins, and I ended up putting in another $300 in cash, and finally ended up hitting and cashed out $677, which means I had a profit of $377, so that's good. That was yesterday. Got a lot of stuff done around the house yesterday, but was kind of not feeling like I wanted to do much, honestly. I really wanted to do some other work on the house, but just wasn't feeling it, so can't blame me. You know, you got to take some time off sometimes. And then today we had a big family party, and had a lot of people invited. There was about 100 people there, and I just left the party. Actually, it's going to go on for another hour and 30 minutes or so. So I just left, and I'm heading out for the day, make some money. So last week I was complaining a lot about it was really hazy, and I couldn't understand why. Well, on a lot of those days I was moving toward the northern part of our country, and I didn't realize it, but the air quality problem that we're having is the fires from Canada, and I didn't know about it till one of my kids told me, hey, that's from the fires from Canada. And I'm like, oh, really? I had no idea, because I don't really pay attention to that stuff. I'm so busy with, like, I listen to like 2 different little news things on YouTube, and other than that, I worry about my family and making money, and that's really about it. I don't want to concern myself with things that make you sick for no reason or worried for no reason. So but today is a nice day, really nice day. It was supposed to rain all day, ended up not raining at all. 76 degrees right now. That's going to be the high for the day. We actually cooked one of the animals that we slaughtered last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was. Had it on a spit going from 4 o'clock this morning till 1 this afternoon. So it was very good, and we had a lot of it catered. Even though we could make the food, we wanted to spend more time with the guests and stuff. And like I said, no rain right now, 2% chance of rain, so that's all really good. Everybody's happy, and I made a nice easy exit, and we're heading out to our first casino of the day. Today, the first casino is going to be a slot casino. I think you guys have seen from 790 something episodes that I really don't have any blackjack casinos near me. So usually when I travel somewhere, I always have like a slots only casino first, because in some areas those are legal and blackjack and stuff isn't allowed, or I'm not allowed to play there, or whatever it might be. So the second place we're going to is going to be one where I've been hitting them really hard lately for blackjack. One thing I want to mention is last week I had a couple things happen at this place, and I'm a little bit worried because they're so tolerant. But after having that really bad day last Sunday, a week ago today, I kind of been hitting everywhere a little bit harder, because I'm trying to recover that money and get back on track. And I can make more money. If I want to make 5 or 7 or 10 in a day, I can do it. I just don't want it to be my last day there. That's something important. but I had that day where I lost the 7,900 or whatever, and then I won 1,800, and then I won another 2,900 in a different session, 900 in another session, and it just so happened that all my wins were happening at the same places, where all my losses were happening at different places. So I hope I didn't overstay my welcome. And the reason I say that is the last place that I played that I won, well, it wasn't the last place, but one of the last places that I played last week, where I won the 2,900 at the table. One of these really nice pit bosses was kind of tracking my play, and luckily my spread wasn't very big at the time because the count was low. I only went like 1 to 4 while she was looking at it. So, but I could tell she was tracking it. You could easily tell because, you know, obviously you can tell when they're doing the rack. They go to this table, they stare, you know, boop, boop, boop on the machine. They go to this table, same thing, boop, boop, boop. They enter the amounts and they walk away. But when they're tracking your play, they're gonna come up to the thing, push one button with the amount that you bet. They're gonna walk away. They're gonna come back a minute later when you're doing your other bet. They're gonna do it again. They're gonna leave, come back another minute later. And it's like, okay, it's kind of obvious. If you want to be smart about it, you go to the desk, or you go to the table next to me, behind me, because I'm usually gonna be third base or first base. So you could go to a table that I'm not facing and see what my bet is and enter it in without being obvious. But I guess, you know, they're not trying to hide anything. They're not trying to, you know, protect themselves as to what they're doing there. But my spread, luckily, was not that big. I may have gone 1 to 8, maybe slightly more, but only once. I just don't feel like I really exposed myself too much while she was doing that. So hopefully that's the case, because if I lose this place, I'm going to be in a mess of trouble. I'm probably going to have to change my whole schedule to go to work in the daytime and do this at night, and I really hate to do that because I depend on this region a lot, and the 4 or so casinos, sometimes 5 in that area that I play. I really don't want to lose that region. So yeah, that's what's happening there. Like I said, it's a pretty nice day today in the mid to high 70s. The sun is finally peeking out. It's been cloudy most of the day, so it might warm up a little bit more. But we're heading out, and our big deal right now is the big focus is going to be making money. So we're going to head off to our first casino. I need to stop in about an hour and get fuel, and then I'll need to stop and get fuel again on the way home, and we should be good for the day. So that's what's going on right now. You're all caught up, and I'll be back to update you soon. All right, guys, I am back. Just got fuel, and well, first of all, I paid $2.49 a gallon without discounts for that fuel. So that's a heck of a deal, beautiful deal, and pleased with that, obviously. So that puts us ahead for the day already. But one thing I saw as I was leaving the gas station that made me think, I forgot something. And that was a air pump. You know, you scan your credit card and air up your tires. And didn't I say that I was going to go to Walmart this week and get that tire fixed? And I said the same thing last week, and I didn't do it. Well, the light hasn't come back on, so I will check the air in the morning in the tire. It might have been a coincidence, or just might not have lost the air yet. But interesting. We'll see what happens with that. Hopefully the tire is okay, but if not, then maybe Monday night, Tuesday night, we'll go to Walmart. I do have at least one evening meeting this week, and that will be on one of the days that I travel. So I'll have to leave extra early for that, which is like every single day. It seems like I have to leave extra early and come home late and all that. So definitely need some relief, definitely need some bigger hits, get back on track, and start feeling good about all that stuff again. I would love to be closer to being on track by the time I go on my vacation. So only a month away. I'm excited about that. So anyway, continuing on here, still a ways away from our first casino. Temperature still good. It's actually a lot warmer in this area, but it's a nice day. The sun is out. It's mostly cloudy, but still beautiful outside. And right where I am right now, it's 79 outside, so can't complain about that. So all you got to do now, we're already going to be there. All we got to do is make some money. It's that easy. So I'll be back. All right, guys, I am back, and that was a big letdown, really. I go into this place, and I notice that everybody's walking around with something, free gift that they got. It's actually a food product, so it's not like it's valueless. It has about $20 value. So I'm like, all right, well, when I get around to that area there, then I'll see if I'm eligible for it. But until then, I'm going to look at everything. And there were about 3 different machines that I couldn't check because there were people on them the whole time. But overall, it was all a big hassle. A lot of people waiting around. People get up, there's nothing there. And I did get like $5 in free play that you had to use today. And I used that, and I turned that into $6. So that was about it. I got the free gift, but the way the free gift works is they have to scan something to make sure that you were invited. And I go over there to do the scan, and they're like, you're a VIP. I'm like, thank you. They're like, you got to go stand in that line. Wait a minute. So a regular person can stand in the regular line, which has no people in it, but the VIPs have to stand in the other line, which has people in it. Okay, that seems reasonable. And then so I go over there, and the lady in front of me is complaining. She's like, this is $4,000 for this, because she lost a bunch of money. And then I had to go stand in 2 lines, and then they give you an envelope, and I'm like, okay, what's this? They're like, well, open it up and see. And I can see right through it. It says $10. So I'm like, okay, well, what do I do with this $10? And the guy was like so rude. He's like, well, what does it say on there? I'm like, you blank, you could just tell me what I do with this instead of asking me questions like that, asking a question to answer a question. But I opened it up. It said $10 in free food expires at the end of the year. So he's like, well, just take it to the food place then. I said, well, then thank you. You could be nicer about it. So I got $5 in free play. We turned into $6. Got some free food, and I got $10 in future free food. So whoop-de-doo. So right now we're moving on to a place where we can actually get some action in. So it's so fun. Really, when you think about it, it's ridiculous and silly and funny. But I left home hours ago, and I get all the way over here for $6. And a promise of food in the future, so whatever. So right now we're going to continue on. We're going to get some blackjack in, and I'll be back to update you. All right, let me see if I can walk and talk and have it be clear here. So I walk into the second place of the day, and I'm walking by this machine on purpose to see if this guy is done with it or not. Still toiling away. Keep toiling. Man, heard some bad stuff about that guy. So I walk in here and I'm looking around. I don't see any machines. I decide to go play some blackjack. I find one good blackjack table, sit down. It was the end of a shoe. I waited till the shoe ended, and I sat down next to this lady, real nice lady, and I had recognized her from before. We'd played together, and her mom also had played on the same table with me before, recognized her, and she started a conversation. I bought in for $400 and started talking, asking me questions and stuff. What's your ethnicity, and all this stuff. And I'm like, I'm proud of that stuff. So you have to be proud of who you are. So I'm telling her, and she's like, oh, really? So am I. I'm like, okay, this won't go too far. Everything's okay. And she's like, what's your last name? Of course, I have the fake one that I normally use. And I said that one because it's a very popular one in that region. And of course, she says, really? So was my mom. I'm like, oh, Lord. She's like, what city? And I told her, and she's like, oh, we're right next to you in this city. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So, played with her for a while. Got through 2 or 3 shoes, and it was up and down, but overall was going in the right direction. We had a pleasant conversation and stuff like that. And her mom was like a table over. And here, let me, I'll catch up with you here in a second. So anyway, now that it's a little bit more quiet, I'm in the elevator here heading back to the car. But so I get to, so her mom comes over to the table, and she sits down, and her mom is asking the daughter for money. And I told her about a story, something that had happened at this casino, where one family member had asked another family member for money, and it ended up ending in a really bad way, with security getting involved, and eventually, I talked to you about this before, eventually a jackpot was hit like 11 years later. They refused to pay the jackpot because she'd been ejected for 24 hours for panhandling, and it was her cousin, and it was this big deal. So I told them, hey, look, just want to let you know that this happened. Just be careful, because they'll look for a reason not to pay you. I know you're playing that side bet that could pay some big jackpot, right? So we had a pleasant conversation. Then she says to her mom, you know who he is? She's like, no. She's like, oh, he's from so-and-so family. And she's like, oh, really? What? Who's your dad and who's your grandfather? And I'm like, oh my gosh, this road that we're leading down at this point. So anyway, I wasn't there much longer, and on the next shoe, after that next shoe ended, I ended up getting up and walking away. But we had a really pleasant conversation, and it was just really weird, because in all the years I've been doing this, I've always had the same story. I've had a certain last name, I've had a certain first name that I use, and you guys know. And I've never had this happen before. But it happened to be that they're from the same place, and on top of that, they're from the same family that I was using as my fake name, and then from around the same city, within like 20 miles of the same city. So anyway, I ended the session on that table plus 537.50. I was at that table a little over half hour, 40 minutes, something like that. Talked to her for a while, and then started walking around. I thought, I'm going to get another blackjack session in, but the tables were just mobbed, and I really couldn't find any other tables to play. So I'm looking around the slots, and I see one that's in range, and like my eyes are bugging out of my head because it's such a good play. And then I look to my right, and there's this Chinese guy sitting there. And how do I know he's Chinese? Because he's from China. Anyway, he's not an Asian guy. He's actually a Chinese guy. Anyway, so I nod at him to let him know that I see him there, and I walk away, and I meet this other guy. I had seen him earlier, and he told me the story, what happened today. That Chinese guy, I guess, takes everybody's play, and he'd been kicked out for 6 months before. And today, my friend who I was just talking to said he found 3 machines, 2 of them next to each other, and one like 3 or 4 machines down. And at the same time that he saw this Chinese guy, and he actually put some money in and leaned the chair on all those machines, and he started playing them one at a time, and he gave one to a friend of his, and he's like, man, if you were here, I would have given you one. I just don't want him to have it because he's such a jerk. He said, there's this black guy that all of us know, real nice guy. He knows just a little bit. He gets himself in a lot of trouble because he knows just a little bit to get himself in trouble. He doesn't know enough to have the complete idea of what he's doing. And he had run out of money one day, and there was this machine. He told me what machine and what it was at and all that. And it was a really good play. And it was worth probably $75 to $100 in EV. And this black guy had run out of money, and he gave the machine to this Asian guy, this Chinese guy. And he ended up backing into like this giant jackpot he wasn't expecting. He won like $12,000 on it. So the Chinese guy, instead of giving him like a couple hundred or $100 or something for it, he ends up giving him the middle finger and walking away with like the $12,000. That was like ridiculous. And ever since then, everybody there hates him and ignores him. I mean, would it really have hurt? He gave the guy a $100 bill out of $12,000, and then he would have given you other plays in the future when he's broke, and now he won't give you any plays. But while I was talking to my friend, another guy came up to him, and he's like, "What's going on? I've been texting you and calling you for 20 minutes, and you're not answering. There's this play over here, and I ended up just leaving the machine." He's like, "Why did you leave the machine?" "Well, you wouldn't answer, and then someone ended up coming and taking it because I got up." And he's like, "Never get up." And I said to the guy, "Don't get up." And he's like, "Well, I didn't want to wait forever." I'm like, if you know your friends are in here, don't get up from the machine no matter how long it is. Put a $5 or a $10 bill in there and just sit there and wait, and then someone will come help you, and they'll figure something out with you, some kind of a deal or something. But anyway, me and that guy ended up doing a play together. Ended up costing us like a couple $100 to get in on the play. We each put 100 in the machine, and it didn't pay very well. By the time that was over, my part was plus $7, so plus 7 on the slots. And then I did have another blackjack session at another low limit table, and I ended up playing that, and I really should have left the hand before because it was a negative count. It was at the end of the shoe. I should have just left, and I ended up losing that last hand. But what are you going to do? I ended that session ahead $300 after about 25 minutes or so. And then there were people sitting down. But when I first sat down at that table, there was an older black guy sitting there, and he obviously either has never played blackjack or never decided to learn how to play blackjack the right way. But I waited till the end of the shoe, started a new shoe. I always say it as like, I don't want to be rude, and I don't want to get in on your shoe and all that kind of stuff. I get in on the next shoe. This guy's hitting 14 against a 6, 15 against a 5. And the dealer's asking him every time, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" And he's getting killed playing that way, which you can't play. I mean, I see the stuff. I've seen the stuff before online where people play like a table is like $1 to 5,000 or $1 to 3,000, and someone will be playing $1 and they'll keep hitting till they get a 21 or bust, and it's like you can't play that way. So anyway, he finally ran out of money and walked away, and I ended up finishing things up with the dealer again, plus $300 on that table. So overall, plus $537.50 on blackjack, plus $7 on slots, and plus $300 more on blackjack. And we're moving on to another casino, and hopefully get a little bit of time on the tables here as well, and I'll be back to update you. Alright guys, as I am leaving this place, got a long walk to the car, so we'll talk while we walk. So I forgot to mention the last place that I was at. I was standing behind a table waiting for the shoe to end. It was the last table that I played, and this guy comes out of nowhere, like younger black guy, like 24, 25 years old, totally smells like weed. Comes up to me and he's like just talking to me. He's like, "Yeah, we're gonna make $1 million, right?" And I'm like, I don't know this guy. I mean, I don't recognize him from anywhere. Just walks up to me like we're buddies. I'm like, going through my mind is, number one, he's high, and yeah, he's just having a good time. Number two, he's gonna ask for money, which he didn't. But I said, "Do I know you?" And he's like, No, man, but I could tell your vibe is good." And I'm like, "Yeah, we're gonna make a lot of money." So anyway, talked to him for a couple minutes, and then he took off, and I ended up playing that last table there. But I thought that was a funny story because he walked up to me like we were best friends and we knew each other from before, and we were meeting up at the casino or something like that, which, whatever. So anyway, this place, I go in and I'm looking around doing the same stuff I always do. Look at slots, and then take a round, look at blackjack, and then maybe back to slots again. And actually at this place, really don't find blackjack very often. So slots are usually the way that you make money. So I ended up finding one machine and I played that one through, and it just was horrible. It was only like a little over $1 a spin, and I played that, and I was down like 180 or something like that, and I'm pissed off because I'm losing. And anyway, I ended up going and playing some blackjack after that, and then went back. Hold on. Of course. Then I went back to slots again, and I ended my slot session down $134. And then, but I did play blackjack, like I said, and the table was empty. Lots of times there'll be one table empty and all the other ones full, because everybody's losing at that table, and everyone thinks that it's a jinx or something like that, and don't play that table because you're going to lose. So I walk up, I buy in for 500, start playing, and like I said, I've been more relaxed lately playing the low limit, even though it takes a little bit longer to make money, but it's been working out for me, and I'm not going to argue with success. So although it takes a lot more time out of my day, it's definitely worth it. I played at that table for, I don't know, 30 minutes or so. Where's my car? And eventually ended up leaving when it went really negative. You know, I'm by myself at the table. Where am I going to go? What am I going to do? I can't be waiting around for someone to come save me. So that was the only table that was open. Went totally negative. We weren't going to pull out of it for a long time, so I ended up leaving that table ahead $437.50. So plus $437.50 on the blackjack, minus 134 on the slots. So made like what, $103.50 overall at that stop. No, sorry, $303.50 at that stop overall. And you know, we're doing all right. What are we up, like $1,200 or $1,300 for the night so far? So now we're going to move on to another place. This other place is not one of my favorites, but I need to hit it because I need to make the money. So we're going to go there, see what the environment looks like, see who's there, and decide what we want to do, if we want to play there or not. So hopefully everything goes well, we make good money, and I have hope to get home by 6 a.m. So we have to hustle, and you know, if there's nothing there, I can hang out for 20 or 30 minutes like I did at the second casino that we visited today, but I can't wait around for 2 hours for things to turn around. So that's what's going on right now. Hopefully you could hear that pretty well. But plus 437.50 on blackjack, minus 134 on slots, and we're moving on to another casino, and I'll be back to update you. All right, everybody. Didn't go as planned. I was looking, I looked at slots first, and I played those first, and then went to look at blackjack, and blackjack was just completely packed except for the $100 tables. Even the $50 tables, which I thought about, had 3 people on each $50 table, so didn't make any sense for me to try to hit one of those. $100 table I wasn't going to do at a place that I don't know if I'm going to get a lot of time or not. I don't want to end up getting buried and then getting thrown out. So decided against blackjack, and but I did play the one slot. That's the only thing that I played in there. I was in there like 45 minutes, and just played the one machine, and ended my session ahead $166. So how are we doing today? Let's see, we got 540, 6, 7, 8, 40, 9, 10, 11, 12, like 1250, something like that. That's not so bad. But we could do better, but that's a pretty good night so far. Unfortunately, now is decision time. I either need to head back to the second casino, and it'll be a really long night, and then head toward home, or head toward home now and just stop on the way home and play some. And I'm actually still up in the air on that. The problem was this. The problem was I hit multiple tables at the same casino at the beginning of a shift. So those people have already seen me play and, you know, all that stuff already. Expose my bigger bets, do all that. But, I mean, I could go back, but does it make sense? I don't know. So let me think about this, and I'll come back and let you know. We were plus 166 at that casino, and I'll be back to update you. All right, guys, I am back. So I made an executive decision here, and that is that I don't feel like I could count cards right now perfectly because I'm a little tired, because our day started really early this morning, as early as 4 o'clock this morning, and it's already midnight, so that's like a 20-hour day, and I don't want to take the chance of not being completely accurate, even though it would be at a low limit table. So I am not going back to that casino. Plus, I don't want to add a lot of extra time to my night. So for once, I am not looking to add that casino, unfortunately. But I think that's the right decision. So right now, we are moving on to another casino back toward home, and we'll see what we can do there. It's probably not going to be as good as if I had stayed and played blackjack, but I'm trying to make the best decisions. And, you know, one screw up, you lose $5,000. You know, you're working hard for nickels and dimes, and then you throw away tens of dollars. So anyway, right now we are continuing our trip, and I'll be back to update you after the next stop. All right, guys, I am back. It was an entertaining stop, let's just say. Maybe not a very profitable stop, but we did make some money. I walk into this place, and I immediately see some advantage players right away, and they're standing next to this machine, and they asked my advice, and I said don't play it. And I walked away, and I played 2 machines. I was ahead like $51, and couldn't find anything else. I come back around, and they're still standing there looking at this. I'm like, I'm telling you, don't play it, you're going to lose money. They're like, we're going to play it. I said, okay. I said, I'll just sit here and watch you. I don't really do that. I never really just sit there and watch other people play, because I'm always in a hurry. I sit down and watch them, and they play it through, and I actually found the play next to their machine, and I played that one. I ended up losing $5, but they ended up losing like $60 or so on that play, and that was at like less than $1 a spin, so that was pretty bad. And I guess some of them had been there for a really long time, but the first thing they told me when I walked in was that there was no plays in there. I walk in, I find a play right away, $3 a spin, and I end up losing like $1.25 on that one. Had another play, played that one, won like $52. That's what got me to like the $51, and then lost the $5, got me to $46. And then this casino has a manager that likes to walk around a lot for exercise and for keeping an eye on things. Really good guy, very nice guy. And always smiling, always nice to everybody. And he saw me walking around a little bit. I don't think he knows what I do, but I'm like, when I saw him at the end, I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to get it back today. I should go home. He's like, yeah, you can come back tomorrow. Don't try to get it all back in one day. So we're in really good, in a really good place there. He's always been super nice, always smiling, always waves to me. I know his name. He doesn't know mine, but he doesn't even know my fake name, but really nice guy. So so was me, and then there was a lady who sometimes plays with her husband, but he wasn't there. He was already home. And I'm like, why are you guys out at this time of night? I mean, I'm traveling, I'm heading home, but what are you guys doing out? And then there was a single guy, and he's always in there. And then there was a couple, and they were in there, and I guess they said they were up for the day slightly. They don't know that much. The one guy, he's very conservative, and so he'll be ahead, but like only like 100 for the day. And then the lady, she's pretty loose on stuff, so she'll lose 400, 600 in a day. She doesn't care, but she knows some stuff. So, you know, overall, had a decent day today, made some money, actually made good money today. And of course, tomorrow, Monday and Tuesday are our lighter days, but you know, you never know. Hopefully something good happens there. I'm definitely tired if you can't hear it in my voice. But let's talk a little bit. What did you eat today, MW? So today we had a party. It was a graduation party, and we had food brought in, and I basically ate chicken and steak, and I had a very, very small bit, like 1 ounce of rice, very small bit, just to get the taste. And I'll do that with things just to, you know, kind of satisfy my craving for something, just get the flavor and savor it for a minute, and it gets me past that. And then what else did I eat? Since I left home, I had a candy bar, and that was it, I believe, right? And some sunflower seeds. But I would say the chicken and steak this morning were excellent. I would give them a 10 on a scale of 2 through ace. If the vegetables that were with them were a little bit better. I mean, I understand when you're doing catering, it's hard to keep everything crisp and perfect when you're shipping it to a place, but it was pretty good. And what did you tip today, MW? And I'm trying to remember the number of blackjack sessions that we had today. There's 1, 2, 3 blackjack sessions that I played today. And the first one, we made the 537.50. It was the girl and her mom, and I tipped $0. The second one, we made the 300. That's with the black guy that didn't know how to play and was screwing up all the hands, and I tipped 0 on that one. And then the third one was the 437.50, and that one I tipped $0 on that one. And so overall, I tipped $0 total for the day. And what did you learn today, MW? And what I learned is, if you leave too late, don't try to get too many sessions of blackjack in. Luckily, I noticed that I wasn't on my A game. I wasn't perfect, so I didn't play that last blackjack session, even though I could have very easily done it. And you know, with an okay bet spread, 1 to 8 or something, at a low limit, I could have made a couple $100 more. But I didn't want to not be on my game and lose a bunch of money for no reason. It's not worth it. There's always tomorrow that you can make more money. So, yeah, you know, overall decent day. Like I said, right now heading home. Still have hours to go before I get home, and hopefully safe drive. And I'll be back with you tomorrow. If you have any questions or comments, my email is mwusa21@gmail.com, mwusa21@gmail.com. See you next time.